Daniel Vallis here from InformedChristians.com, a website ministry devoted to discerning current events from a Christian perspective. Today I'm going to give you a real quick radar update of what's been going on and what we can expect in the days ahead. A watchman watches events and movements and passes on the intel. That is the purpose of our ministry situation room, to have an understanding of the times so we can better know what we should be doing now. Standard disclaimer, of course, this is a watch, not a prediction. I'm only sharing with you a situation report, an intel report of what is going on right now. I strongly suggest, if you haven't yet, to watch our video Understanding the Times. That gives you an idea of how we are in the last generation and at the end of the last generation. Our video Back to the Future Enemy Action 1017 report, where we connected a lot of dots of the enemy action that's been going on this whole year, building up very recently too. And then finally our video Days of Noah, which explains in detail about how we find ourselves right now in the historical days associated with Noah and Lot, on top of all the moral and wickedness in society we see often associated as the days of Noah and Lot. You can also find a printable study guide PDF on our website that condenses a lot of this. You can find a link in the description box. Just this month of October, we've seen a lot of enemy action. We've seen it pick up, signaling that something is going to be happening very soon. It's enemy chatter that we've been monitoring, and as we've been monitoring it more and more, today the Lord gave some more wisdom about how it really specifically ties together, and that we should be keeping an eye out and keeping a watch, and that we should be vigilant. So we're going to get an overview of just October, and we've talked about already how we find ourselves in the historical days of Noah. Right now, we are in between the historical time of when Noah entered the ark, the anniversary of that, and between the anniversary of when the flood starts, often associated as a picture of judgment. And we are also in the 4 periods of Torah reading in the synagogues that covers this section. So we are literally in the days of Noah and Lot from multiple vectors. But look at our other videos for that information. So let's look right now at several red flags that have been going on, and celestial signs too that have also captured our attention and should capture our attention and wake us up and say, hey, something is going on here. Going on right now is a planetary trio conjunction that some have likened to the Star of Bethlehem. I call it the Star of Bethlehem Echo Reminder, since it echoes a much stronger match that occurred this spring. On June 30th was a very rare conjunction that many referred to as a much truer Star of Bethlehem, where Jupiter and Venus visually were very close to each other, almost making a single very bright point of light. It was the closest Venus and Jupiter had been in 2,000 years, appearing almost as one single star. They were 1/3 of a degree apart visually. The conjunction also happened to be with Regulus, the king star close by, which is in the constellation Leo the Lion, which is also known as the Lion of Judah. Regulus is right between Leo's 4 feet and reminds us of Genesis 49:10. The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be. So here we have a celestial sign of the Star of Bethlehem, which was a sign of his first coming, now appearing again along with the scepter of Judah, both in June, and right now a very close echo of it. This conjunction that's going on right now was tightest on the 26th, but will still be close until the 29th. And we find this occurring, this reminder of Christ's coming, right in the period of the days of Noah and Lot, morally, generationally, and historically. Also at the same time was a full moon, nicknamed the Hunter's Moon, which was also a supermoon, meaning the moon was closest to Earth. This is not rare, but it is not normal either. Not all full moons are supermoons. There are 4 to 6 supermoons a year. So this slightly unusual sign in the heavens occurred at the exact same time that the Star of Bethlehem Echo Reminder was at its best showing. You know, it's things like that just that even further raise your eyebrows when you see them. Of non-normal things catch attention of those who are watching. Most people are looking for big, blazing neon signs in the heavens. No, most signs are just like the signs you see alongside the road. They're just gentle reminders, if you're paying attention, that you're on the right road or you're almost close to your destination. A lot of them aren't big, blaring, coming to the town circus type banners that people expect. They're just regular signs that just let you know that you're on the right road and that your destination is coming up if you are paying attention. And that's why Christ keeps the signs subtle, because he wants to see who's watching. Well, since it was a supermoon and a full moon, it instantly reminded me of the last supermoon, which was also a full moon, the blood moon from a month ago. So here we have two back-to-back supermoon full moons. So that's already raised your eyebrows a little bit of, that's interesting, two back-to-back supermoon full moons. And both of these are closely associated with prophetic significance, the blood moons, and then the one going on right now with the Star of Bethlehem echo reminder. The fourth blood moon then reminded me of what I call the American blood moon, which happened on the exact same day as the Star of Bethlehem celestial sign. This was largely seen in America and all over the media too. They made a deal of it due to the heavy wildfire smoke coming down from the northwest at the time. Both of these events happened on the exact same day. But here we find ourselves right now in the middle of the historical days of Noah, just prior to the symbolic judgment coming. We find a double echo, both occurring at the same time. Two echoes at the same time. You could almost say it's like a second witness, a second sign to catch our attention one last time. These celestial signs may also be cluing us into why we also see enemy action building up over this year, and especially this month as well. The end of this month, coinciding right after the historical start of the flood, is Satan's holy day, Halloween. This is the day that the Druids worshipped Cernunnos, the horned god of the underworld, who is also associated and known as Hades, Pan, and Satan. It's a very significant day right at the end of this month. You may remember at the beginning of April, CERN posted a blog entry entitled, "CERN Researchers Confirm Existence of the Force." And most people thought it was an April Fool's joke, but all the way at the very bottom of the post, they said, with the research ongoing, many at CERN are already predicting that the Force will awaken later this year. And to learn more about the connection between CERN, the abyss, time, and how it all relates to Bible prophecy, check out our video, Time, CERN, and the Bible. You can find a link in the description box. So CERN gave a heads up early in the year that expect and look for this particular action to happen. So with that in mind, let us look now at October, just October, and the high spike in red flags that the enemy is signaling that something very big is about to happen. We can make a strong educated guess that the events are most likely leading up to the day most associated with Cernunnos, the horned god of the underworld. All of the red flags this month are precisely and strongly pointing to that subject matter. October 7th, the movie Look Who's Back, a German film, opened up in theaters. It is all about how Hitler literally wakes up in modern times, becomes a celebrity, and enters politics again. And you'll have to read our article, The Antichrist Returns, about the other cross relation with Hitler and Antichrist. He's always a very strong pattern of that. So there's double meaning with that. A few hours later, CERN announces a new mini-accelerator project entitled Awake. Who is saying this, and what they said earlier means a lot. Just a few hours from that other film. Fox Channel Lucifer TV series premieres at the New York City 2015 Comic-Con. They're strongly tying these major media announcements to make sure you understand Awake, Lucifer. Hint, hint. The very next day, the movie Pan was released. In Greek religion and mythology, Pan is the god of the wild. A divine he-goat is essentially what Pan was supposed to be. When represented by an image at all he regularly had goat's legs. Pan represents Satan. Pan is also still equated with Hermes, Mercury, and Cernunnos, the god of the underworld. October 18th, NASA releases pictures of Charon. Charon is the moon of Pluto. In mythology, Charon is the ferryman of the dead, of Hades, closely associated with the god Hades, whom the Romans associated with their god Pluto. Hermes and Mercury is often depicted as traveling with Charon. So here NASA is holding up in front of the media, and they were making big announcements about it. Oh, Charon! And whenever we see these announcements, we have to automatically associate what the mythological reference is, because that's the pattern really being referenced in parable form. So again, they're emphasizing both the ferryman of the dead and Hades, Pluto too. Also on the 18th, the final Star Wars The Force Awakens poster was released. It was widely announced all over social media, and they were really making a big deal out of it. On the 19th, the last Star Wars The Force Awakens trailer aired during Monday Night Football, making sure that it had the widest possible audience. And of course, then people looked it up on social media and the internet after that. But this was a very deliberate timing for visibility, especially since most science fiction fans are not necessarily football fans. This was a very interesting tie-in with football, though, and it reminded me of the symbol-laden Super Bowl halftime show earlier this year, which had a lot of connections to CERN as well. Also on the 19th, the TV series Underworld made a big media announcement that they had started filming. And that's a very demonic show. October 23rd, the same historical anniversary as Noah entering the ark. On this day was a really big red flag because NASA basically threw the whole kitchen sink at you. On this day, NASA released a, quote, family portrait of Pluto and her moons. So they're basically showing you all the moons with Pluto, and so you have to immediately consider the mythological references that they're making when they show you literally the big picture. Pluto is Hades. Charon, one of the moons, is the ferryman of Hades. Styx, another moon, is a river of Hades. Nyx, another moon, that's the goddess of darkness and night. Cerberus, that's the dog that guards underworld. And Hydra, the 9-headed serpent. So NASA's pushing the whole kitchen sink on you of all the heavy symbolism, and they're doing so on this historical date, pushing it in your face. October 28th, NASA announces that the satellite Cassini flies by Saturn's moon, Enceladus. Of course, Saturn's long been associated with Satan, and now they're pushing Enceladus, one of the moons. Enceladus is one of the giants from Greek mythology, who was a fallen angel offspring, the Nephilim, who was said to be an underground giant and the cause of earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. So it was a big push both of Satan and the underground fallen angel. And finally, NASA has announced that their telescope system called Pan-STARRS detected an asteroid that will be making a flyby on October 31st. So it's an interesting 4-item convergence of Pan with the Pan movie, Halloween, and something flying through the air, a reference to the god of the air. All of these red flags that we've seen this month are anchored on and tied to Halloween, the worship of Cernunnos, the horned god of the underworld, Hades, Pan, and Satan. So we see celestial signs, we see Noah and Lot significance, coupled with all the enemy action chatter, all converging together at the same time, toward the same time. So what is going to happen? I have no idea. When is it going to happen? I have no idea, but probably sooner than we think. Will CERN attempt something while the supposed spiritual veil is thin? Most likely. I think we can expect enemy action of them trying to do something. You don't have to be the sharpest knife in the drawer to see that Satan is about to try something very big. So we should expect major enemy action over the weekend is all I can say. But when we see the celestial signs in the heavens also increasing and drawing our attention in the midst of this historical Noah and Lot time, I think we should expect even more in the days ahead. And we need to watch and be sober and be vigilant. Romans 13:11 through 12. Knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than when we believed. The night is far spent. The day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. In these days, Satan is very busy. They're very busy putting on the works of darkness and getting the works of darkness ready to work even more. Christian, are you putting on the armor of light? Are you shining? Are you awake? Or are you distracted and spiritually asleep, more interested in sports and the things and cares of this world? Are you asleep or are you awake? Do you know what time it is? It's high time to get busy. Matthew 25:6-7. And at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom cometh. Go ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. Are you trimming? Are you checking your life? Are you asking God, what do I need to remove and what do I need to cast off from my life now so that when you come I am shining bright? What cares of this life do I need to cast off? What do I need to clean off of my life? What do I need to purify out of my life so I can be clean without spot or wrinkle when you arrive? Luke 17:32. Remember Lot's wife. And the message throughout Revelation, and the message to the churches of Revelation: overcome. Overcome. Maranatha.